about. So when you talked about the companies that you've invested in when you were in Bessemer, so Swiggy and BigBasket, a lot of the names today they're household brands. But how do you think about market, any industry or market in a 10-year timeline of what are the inflection points going to be if I don't have the experience, and how do I substitute for your intuition that you've gained over the years?
If you're going to invest by intuition, don't do it. Okay. Don't do it. That's not the model that you need to be following. And I think the question you are asking is, were you able to predict 10 years down the line that these companies will be household names? Obviously, in my scenario table, there were multiple scenarios. BigBasket will crash and burn, or BigBasket will become a household name. There were various outcomes, and I had put in a probability to each of those. You don't have to go that far. But I'll tell you what was, as I said, what was common. I talked about, what was maybe common in the entrepreneurs. Let me now also talk about what was maybe common across these businesses that got me to sit up. Okay. And I would encourage each one of you to develop your own, but maybe I'll talk about this now. Okay. So for any consumer internet company, the way I judge the fact that it is overcoming the first risk, and the most important risk in my mind is that, do people want this? Right? So I use an acronym called CURW. Okay. And I sometimes call it, when I'm speaking within, other partners at Alibaba, is the startup curving in the right direction. So CURW stands for CURW. Okay. So the first, what stands for C is what I call is conversion percentage. If 50 people saw your product or came across your product, how many people ended up buying? Okay. The second is U, which is usage. Are people using the product? Right. And in their natural usage, cycle. Right. So if you are ordering your grocery 2 to 3 times a month for stocking up and 4 times a week in your regular top up, then what percentage of that usage is this product being taken up? The third metric is R, which is called retention. 100 customers came in and transacted. How many are retaining at the end of 2 to 3 months, right? Or for another 12 months, right? And W, which I call is word of mouth. Paid marketing does not work for long. Okay. So you need to be able to build, if you see one thing which is common with all these large consumer internet companies, or for that matter, any large company, B2C company, is that their customer acquisition becomes organic very, very quickly. Because either you're telling people it's a great product, right? And then it becomes a lot more viral over a period of time. You obviously need to start, and obviously you need to support with paid marketing, but a significant share of your customer acquisition becomes organic. And now I'll tell you what was happening. In the case of Swiggy, 36% of the people were converting as transacting customers. I am yet to see any other company which has such conversion metrics. Now, I want you to be careful, and maybe I'm going into too much detail, but I'll touch upon it. You cannot measure the conversion company of a food delivery company against an education company. Okay, so keep that in mind. And more important than the conversion percentage number, the trend is more important. So if you see a company in which your conversion percentage is going up rather rapidly, I believe that is the single most important metric pointing towards the fact that people want this. Consumers are brutal. When you yourself are evaluating something, are brutal. Is it worth your time or money? I think this metric tells us very clearly.